By 2050, the human population will reach 10 billion people. Providing energy, food, and water for 3 billion additional residents requires a level of output that our current infrastructure cannot sustain. To house everyone, global construction must build the equivalent of a city the size of Vienna every week for the next quarter century. Our energy systems are built on a line. We burn fuel, extract a fraction of its potential, and the remaining energy is vented as heat or emissions. This linear model ensures that most of the resources we harvest are lost before they reach the consumer. In response, pioneer cities are redesigning how resources flow through their economies. They are moving away from simple fuel substitution and toward a model where energy is recycled as it moves. To manage the demographic shift ahead, cities must remove the concept of waste from their engineering and replace it with circularity. In Lancaster, California, the transition began by addressing a bureaucratic bottleneck. Mayor Rex Paris discovered that solar permits took 6 months to process. He issued a memo mandating a 45-minute turnaround, forcing his staff to prioritize approvals over delays. This streamlined process allowed the city to install solar on all municipal buildings, with the savings used to fund residential panels. The abundance of cheap local energy eventually attracted hydrogen production and green manufacturing. By 2023, Lancaster's unemployment rate fell from 17% to 6%. Lancaster's model relies on sector coupling, linking separate industries to exchange energy directly. In Wunsiedel, Germany, the timber industry couples with the energy grid. Excess wind and solar power presses wood waste into pellets, stored as fuel for heat and electricity. This aerial view shows Copenhagen's Nordharv district, a living laboratory for resource recovery. Here, supermarkets capture the heat generated by their cooling compressors and pumped it directly into the district heating pipes that warm the surrounding apartments. These loops demonstrate that waste is just a misplaced resource. But to keep power flowing through different weather conditions, this logic must scale up to an international level. The primary challenge for renewables is their variability. Solar and wind output fluctuate, meaning that a city's supply only becomes reliable when it can trade power with distant neighbors. The North Sea grid addresses this by laying undersea interconnectors between the UK, Norway, and Denmark. These cables form a macro system, allowing nations to balance energy needs in real time. For instance, Norway exports steady hydropower to the UK when North Sea winds drop. Norway's contribution comes from its geography. Large hydroelectric dams provide a constant, high-capacity source of power that acts as a battery for the rest of Europe. In return, the UK exports power from massive offshore wind farms like this one. When the wind is strong, Britain sends gigawatts of green energy back across the sea to protect its neighbors' energy security. Megagrids solve the distribution problem, but the next step is perfecting how we store that energy and how we manufacture the hardware that moves it. For long-term storage, electricity is being used to produce hydrogen and e-fuels. These molecules can hold energy for months, providing a dense chemical alternative to lithium-ion batteries. Researchers are now developing artificial photosynthesis. This process uses engineered semiconductors submerged in water to mimic the chemistry of a leaf, turning sunlight directly into hydrogen fuel without any external wiring. However, current technology still depends on minerals like lithium and cobalt. As global demand for storage grows, these materials are becoming scarce, and millions of spent batteries are ending up in waste piles like this one. In Singapore, Madhavi Srinivasan has developed a way to recover these metals using bacteria and orange peels. This biological recycling process extracts 99% of the cobalt and lithium from dead batteries, allowing them to be returned to the manufacturing cycle. To reach a true circular economy, we have to close the loop on both the energy we trade and the physical materials we use to store it. The grid of the future functions as an integrated ecosystem. It uses sector coupling and international megagrids to ensure that energy is never used just once and then discarded. Oslo and other pioneer cities prove that this transition is an active economic opportunity. Carbon-neutral infrastructure is already being normalized in communities that chose to prioritize innovation. We are engineering these sustainable cycles because we are borrowing this planet from our children. How do you think your own city could start sector coupling? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more in-depth reporting on the energy transition.